Hi everybody, Lori here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you using the new Love Chain die that just came out in the Kisses release. I wanted to show you a fun way to do this. There's several different examples on the Simon Says Stamp website, a lot of different things you can do with it. First of all, the size of it is perfect for a slim line or a mini slim line, but I'm going to use it on a standard A2 size card. So first I die cut it in a panel of white cardstock. And since it all kind of stayed intact on my cutting plate, I pulled out the old press and seal. I've been using press and seal for a long time. Shout out to Ken McGuire who invented it. But lately I feel like I've been using it and I had it handy and I thought, oh, this would be a fun way to hold down all of these hearts, all of these die cut hearts from the heart chain while I figure out what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so I went ahead and die cut 4 rows of the heart chain just out of white cardstock. I'm using hammer mill, whatever white cardstock you prefer to use. I'm going to be doing ink blending. So my first thought with the heart chain was I'm going to die cut all the inner hearts with different colors of solid color cardstock. That was my first idea. That's usually always my first idea. Use solid color cardstock. I love it and I know it looks gorgeous. But then I thought, oh man, I'm going to have all these white die cut hearts just go to waste. What could I do to color them to make them look equally as fantastic? Well, then I thought Copic marker, color all the die cuts with Copic marker, and then I thought, oh no, I'm going to ink blend them. I'm going to use the Pawsitively saturated inks and blend to the high heavens. So now I'm taking some tape runner on a scratch piece of, this is just, like sometimes when I get notes or letters, I save the scraps and I use the back side. That's what I'm doing with the tape runner and all these hearts. And it's so quick and easy with the press and seal. You just slap it down, bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so you got all your die cut hearts held down with tape runner on some scrap paper. Now carefully remove the chain, save that because I'm going to be using it later. Okay, so there's no waste except for the couple of hearts that either I made a mistake on or I did. As you can see, there's many die cut hearts. So I had a little more than I needed. But I'm going to start blending, you know, in rainbow order. So starting with Carnation, which is a light bubblegum pink. And then, so basically every color is going to get 2 tones. So I do a light and a dark. Start with Carnation. Now this one is Peony. And as you can see, I use more scrap paper to kind of mask off my previously blended heart so I don't, you know, contaminate with the next color. Okay, moving along, we had Cheeky and now Blush. Probably not going to mention every single color, but everything that I use will be linked in the description box below. I do use many different Pawsitively saturated inks. You could use any inks that you have, but I do love that the Simon Says Stamp Pawsitively saturated inks give you so many different tones of each color family. So if you want yellow, you can do a very light or a medium or a dark. The darkest in the yellow is Citrine. So I do one of that. Now I started with the larger blender brushes, but I ended up using the little small kind of detail blender brushes. That way you could get in between those little hearts. And as you can see, I just start on the right side of the heart and I kind of fade it out to the left where there's almost no ink. So that gives you that gradient love that I call it the secret ingredient. What do we got here? We had Lucky Marine. We're moving into the true blues, and then I'll finish it off with 2 purples. So basically I did 2 rows of hearts, and then what I'm going to do is just repeat all the same colors. And it's, you know, was it a lot of work? Debatable. Do I love to do it? Absolutely. The colors are dreamy, sherbety deliciousness. It really is a feast for the eyes, like candy for my eyes. I don't know if you're feeling that way, but we're going to move on to the card. I have a cream card base. I'm taping it down on my grid mat. Now here's where I pulled out some of these, what are these called? The micro dot adhesive sheets. These are by Simon Says Stamp. Okay, when you have something like this heart chain die cut and it's really intricate and you're too lazy to glue it, you could slap it down on that adhesive sheet. It puts adhesive on the back of the die cut, and then you can just easily press it down. It's already got the tape there. And I just kind of go in the same area, but shift the heart chain to the left, to the right, because I know there's lots of adhesive still on that sheet. And now here I'm going to flip this over so you have one going up and one going down, just kind of creating a heart pattern with that heart chain die cut. And okay, I got to tell you, this might be the first or second time I've used the micro dot adhesive sheets, but it ain't going to be the last time. Where have these been all my life? I've been futzing around with that liquid glue, but when you have intricate die cuts, man, that's the cat's meow. Okay, now I'm going to pop up the innards because dimension is life. And I used the Simon Says Stamp foam squares, so that made it easy. Popping those all in, and now I'm just taking off the backing. We're working in batches. And now here's the fun part. When you pop in your little blended heart die cuts. And it's like candy, really. It is. And that dimension. So you've got the colorful hearts with the white heart chain. And you got a cream card base. You got that neutral on neutral happening in the background. And you got all the color with the hearts. And came together lickety split. I'm going to trim off all that excess using my guillotine trimmer. I find it's the best way to get the cleanest, sharpest cut. Okay, once we get all that excess trimmed off, we're going to move on to the sentiment. I pulled out an oldie but a goodie. This is the extra large Love Greetings stamp set. A lot of great sentiments in here to choose from. I'm going to use one that I've used a few times. It's just the Scripty Love You, and I'm going to emboss it in white on a strip of black cardstock. So first I rub down some black cardstock with a magic powder bag. I'm inking up the sentiment with Versamark ink. Stamp it a couple times just to make sure I got good coverage with that Versamark ink, and I'm pouring on Simon Says Stamp white embossing powder, heating that with a heat gun. And then I will take the coordinating die. It's one thing I love about that extra large Love Greetings. A lot of the stamp sets nowadays, a lot of the sentiment stamp sets are having coordinating dies. And I really, really love that. A little bit of foam tape to pop that up right in between those rows of hearts. And then for a little blingity bling, not that you needed to, but I couldn't resist some iridescent confetti. And this card is finished. Now, this would be great for Valentine's, but certainly not limited to. I think it could be used any time of the year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sending you some candy heart hugs today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at SimonsSaysStamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.